So my story on Afterglow comes with our Afterglow right now. I think back over the last 6 months, and if there's anything coming out of COVID and so much bad news and death and loss of hope in humanity and science and sometimes ourselves, that's hope. That's an Afterglow right there. My last 6 months have been a mixed bag, I would say. For some of us, maybe you didn't get to see your family over these holidays because of COVID. For others of us, maybe you didn't have to see your family over the holidays because of COVID. I'm a little bit of both, truth be told. Most of my lockdown was spent working on streams like this, helping other people tell their stories, working on Zoom. One of my biggest times spent, one of my most important times spent, was working in the freestyle rap community in New York. Yes, synchronized music is possible via Zoom. It's really hard, but it's possible when you're desperate enough to need to express what's inside. There was one day when I was on a Zoom pretty much exactly like this. I had a green sheet behind me, a makeshift green screen, and suddenly it parts. And my roommate tells me, "You've got to get out. There's a fire in the house." I can smell the smoke, but my neighbors outside next door, they just like to make a lot of fires outside in their outdoor fire pit. So I just assumed it was that. Forgetting, of course, that it was the end of January. It was frigid. We ran. We left. And just like that, the house that I had lived in for all of lockdown was uninhabitable. And I was displaced. So the end of January this year, I and my roommate Aaron, we both moved to an Airbnb in a different neighborhood in Philly. And the next Sunday after we moved, I did what I did on all first Sundays of the month. You see, I have a group of people that I love very dearly who live out front of the steps of the Philly Museum of Art. They tend to sleep underneath that giant Rocky statue. Season in, season out. I was seeing them, wishing them well, trying to bring them warm clothing and hot coffee. And I rode my bike home. At least I thought I rode my bike home. But in one moment, I was riding my bike, and in the next moment, I was waking up to stark, neon, bright lights, recessed in white, with a pale, awful, squalid green color along the sides of the rooms. And then words spoke into existence the reality of my experience. You're in the hospital. You've been hit by a car. The memories are cloudy at best. Partially because I got hit in the head. And the drugs too. So many pain meds, so many epidurals, so many different tubes and devices attached, affixed, inserted into my body that the 10 days that followed are a mishmash of painkillers, a foggy cloud of lost memories. But one of the memories that attached itself physically was that I looked up at the tote board across from my bed and I saw, and next to the names of my doctors, my nurses, my care associates, I saw that someone had written, "Call me Pauli," spelled Pauli. This is big for me, you see, because somehow, in a moment that I didn't remember, I asked for my chosen name, not my birth name, to be used. I asked for my pronouns, my correct pronouns, to be used. Some doctors did. Most, well, didn't. The other memory I have from those times is my partner coming up to me in the room and using my chosen name. She'd used it before, but now it meant so much more. Because I'd just survived a house fire and being hit by a car and losing some of my memory, and I heard it. I heard it anew. When I think of Afterglow, I think of the miracle that it is and that it takes to stand up for who I am, for my gender identity, in a place where no one understands what that means. For me, my afterglow is knowing myself and being able to say in public that, yes, I am Pauli. I am they. I am them. The final memory that I have was on one of the last days where I was there. And I had my epidural taken out. And I had just enough energy to play that song Celebration by Kool and the Gang and to do a shoulder dance. Because that's the only part of my body that I was comfortable moving at the time. And so that is the ultimate afterglow. To be able to find a little bit of hope, a little bit of joy and levity in the midst of terrible, terrible pain. And to live to tell about it. Thank you.